Stock Play of the Day Overtime is an educational program. Any statements made by Ally Invest employees are not intended to be or should be considered investment advice, a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold a security, or a recommendation to adopt an investment strategy.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Play of the Day Overtime Edition. On Monday's Stock Play of the Day, we talked about Johnson & Johnson. Today we'll discuss, did we score or did we fumble? Hello, my name is Brian Overby. I am the Senior Options Analyst with Ally Invest. On Monday's Stock Play of the Day, we talked about Johnson & Johnson. What we see here is a chart of the week as far as the stock prices are concerned for Johnson & Johnson. We always tape the Stock Play of the Day live Monday at noon Eastern time. So I've highlighted on the chart here, this is a 15-minute chart that goes back to the 23rd, which was the Monday at noon Eastern time. I've drawn a line that goes all the way across to approximately where the underlying stock was at. It was about $143.75, $143.75. So here's noon Eastern time on our chart. And to be blunt, the stock really didn't do much since Monday and a lot of times that happens on holiday weeks. But overall, what we saw was this is the rest of the day Monday. The stock basically closed where it was at when we were talking about it. A little bit of a pop on Tuesday, but very, very little. Here's all day Wednesday. And then Thursday, the markets were closed, and here we are on Friday. We're up just a few pennies. 144.08 is where the underlying stock is at. And the actual butterfly trade that we talked about is up about a nickel. So what was the trade of the day for Monday? It was a long call butterfly spread. And here was the concept in that. We were looking at a long call butterfly because we wanted to reduce the overall risk of this trade. We were looking at Johnson & Johnson because they are in phase 3 trials, one of the many companies out there that have gone through phase 3 trials. Johnson & Johnson is not quite done yet with theirs, and we're hoping maybe we'll get a little pop on the news. Now, after the announcements, the way the stocks have performed that have already had successful phase 3 trials for their COVID vaccine has been mixed. So we decided we're going to do something where we can use options to reduce our overall risk compared to actually buying an option contract outright or buying the stock outright overall. And the way that we accomplish this is by looking at a long call butterfly spread. Now you're looking at it right now inside the options playbook, and you see we buy strike B, we buy strike A, we sell 2 of strike B, and then we buy strike C. So in this situation, we are paying a net debit to the account. That is going to be our overall risk, but it's a small net debit relative to the profit potential. And we're doing this out of the money. So we are being bullish on this trade in that we want the underlying stock to go up to about where strike B is. So our goal on this trade is actually to allow that underlying stock to go up to that actual strike price. All right. So let's look at the trade and talk about the risks and rewards of the trade. So here's Johnson & Johnson right now. The markets are looking to be closing in about 1 hour. It's at 144.10, up 42 cents on the day. That's about 1/3%. We went out to the December 21st expiration. We have no idea when the phase 3 trial will be done with Johnson & Johnson, but by doing this trade, what we're hoping is that we want to give it enough time. So we still have 21 days remaining. Basically, we're just going to look at staying the course here. We bought strike 145, we sold the strike 150, and we bought the 155. We did this as a 1/2/1, and we paid a net debit of about 96 cents. Right now we see it's trading for $1, so we're up about 4 cents on that trade. And if I scroll down and I look actually at the profit and loss graph, here's where the underlying stock is at. This looks like the profit and loss graph a lot like inside the options playbook. But inside our platform, we're actually showing where the strategy is at as of right now. So we're at 144. We'd like it to get to 150. We don't want it to go beyond that. And we mentioned that butterflies really don't pay out until they get closer to the expiration. When you are correct on your forecast and you would prefer to be correct closer to the expiration date, and I'll kind of highlight this here. Let me knock this down to a couple of days remaining to expiration. And now we see the colored line looking a lot morphing, if you will, towards that expiration date. All right, so if we're doing this trade, because we did it 5 points wide, that means that the maximum that this can trade for is $5. We paid about $1 for it, a little less, but we'll call it $1. Our maximum risk would be that dollar. The maximum reward then would be $4. Now, we're not looking to make that $4 because that means it's got to go out right at that strike price, right at expiration. So what would we do here? The stock hasn't done much. We're up about a nickel on the trade, but we're waiting for news. So if we were to close this trade, all we'd have to do here inside the Ally Invest option chains is actually click trade and enter the opposite of everything that we did when we put the trade on. So what we'd be looking to do, and you might want to think about doing this, normally if I have a butterfly on, I will have a standing good till canceled order to actually sell the position. Now we're doing this as a paper trade, so we're not actually doing it inside our real portfolio. We're just trying to learn here on the stock play of the day overtime edition. But if we were looking at exiting a trade inside the platform, we bought to open the 155 strike call option. So here we're going to look to sell to close that. And then we sold to open the 150 strike call. We did that 2 times. So in this instance, we would be buying to close that. And then lastly, we bought to open the 145 strike. So that would be a sell to close. Now, in this instance, you will get your net quote. We're going to enter it all as one trade down to the trading floor, but you might want to have just a standing order that if this butterfly starts trading for the price that you wouldn't mind getting out at, your trade would just execute for you. So how might I do that? Right now it's at $1. I said $2 I'd be fine with, but let's say $2.25. Let's go a little bit more because we're just going to leave this standing order in. We can change it at a later date, but if we could close this out for a net credit to the account of about $2.25, I would be happy with that trade overall. Now, we want to make that good until canceled. That means that it's going to live through the life of the option contracts until this position actually gets canceled, or this order actually gets canceled, or the option contracts obviously expire. Then it's just going to time itself out via that way, because we still got looks like December 18th. We got 21 days remaining. So that's how I would do this, and I would just click preview order, and I'd have that standing good till canceled order. We talked a little bit about the risks on money on the downside. We've already reduced our risk by doing the butterfly as opposed to just buying the call outright. For example, the 145 call, the advantage here would be that you have unlimited upside potential if the stock did skyrocket after the news, but you're still paying $2 here. So we've cut that risk in half. So there's 2 ways that we can approach this. Either you can say, I'm going to let this trade ride. I'm either going to lose my dollar or I'm going to make my money on the upside. Or if I want to, I can say, well, if I'm down 50 cents on the trade, I'm just going to close it out. So I have 2 ways to look at this. All right. Well, that's going to be it for this edition of the Stock Play of the Day Overtime. Thanks for coming, everyone. And we will see you Monday on the next Stock Play of the Day. Please click subscribe and ring the bell. And that way you'll receive all the alerts. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving and you enjoy your weekend. Talk to you Monday.